Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to yet another Throwback Thursday with me, Peter the Master of Hoppers, today joined by
Throwback Michael.
Throwback Michael. He's from the 80s.
Yeah, I'm just throwback all in all. Yeah.
Today,
everything old, I'm there.
yeah. Yeah, because you're old.
I'm old.
No, I'm old too, almost.
You
No,
remember Peter?
I remember. No, so today, guys, we're checking out some more Fuller's beer. I recently did a vintage bottle of their past masters ales because it was on sale at selling locally, a local supermarket.
Yep.
And I picked up two that was more, but I picked up the ones I thought sounded most interesting and I thought might be able to handle age. And today we're checking out the past masters 1981 ESB. So Fuller's done this series where they check out old recipes they rebrew old recipes from their archives from past brewmasters. I don't know why, but past brewmasters. Because they are brewmasters. I don't know why I made those quotation marks. But this one is kind of a tribute to John Keeling. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Famous
Probably a
brewmaster.
brewmaster.
Yes, famous brewmaster.
Past
Fuller's.
brewmaster.
Yes, he stopped a couple of years, 18 maybe he stopped or so. Just before I think the buyout by, was it Asahi or something? It was bought up by a Japanese company. But just the brewery, not the pubs.
Yeah.
But it's a family-owned brewery, or was. Fuller, Smith and Turner. John Keeling brewed like the vintage ales, and he did a lot of things. The whole takeover with Gales, brewing George Gale's old ale for a while. And yeah, the ESB and a lot of the Fuller's beers that we nowadays look at as classics are some of the beers he's been working with, like Golden Pride, 1845, things like that. So what they did was that they went back into the brewing books and decided to rebrew one of his first beers, which was a recipe for an ESB in 1981. I guess it might be what we know as the Fuller's ESB, just classic. They don't go into specifics. They just say that 1981 ESB is the 9th beer in the Past Master series. They brewed something extra special to celebrate the career of Fuller's legendary brewer John Keeling, who retires in 2018. This full-bodied fruity beer uses the extra special bitter recipes from John's first day at Fuller's in January 1981. So with breweries, recipes change and stuff like this over time. This says it's best before 2021, and it says he retires in 2018. So maybe it's from 17?
Yeah, maybe.
18? It's something along those lines. But this is a long date for a beer like this. It's bottle conditioned. You see a little bit of sediment in the bottle. The beer is slightly hazy. I think most of the Fuller's beers, at least these, are bottle conditioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see it right there.
Yeah,
and that's a very classic British thing to do. Not many, well, a lot of brewers nowadays naturally have yeast in it from tapping. But bottle conditioning back in the day meant that you still left some yeast to re-ferment in the bottle in terms of doing like the CO2 and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of a good idea because in old times, oxidation could have been a big problem. But if you have a little bit of live yeast to eat a little bit of sugar, you can reuse the small amount of the small amount of oxygen in the bottle, so you don't have unoxidized flavor. I don't know if that's an entire idea behind it, but this,
I like the bottles.
Yeah, I like.
It looks kind of exclusive.
Yeah, the old Fuller's bottles were a bit more bulky. I think I like them a bit more. They were quite unique. But Fuller's is a brewery that's always been near and dear to me, and I still think some of their beers, like the London Porter, for example, ESB, some of those are some of those beers that's fun to go back to once in a while that are great. And for me, the whole craft beer journey started with
the British
beers.
Yeah.
So I really like ESB from Fuller's. I haven't had it in a long time because I can't remember the last time I've seen a Fuller's beer that's not been past masters or limited edition locally. Maybe once in a while, and an odd chance a can of London Pride.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of the importer 1 pint. I don't know if they have the license anymore or what's going on. But we poured it out, and it was crazy carbonated for an old beer.
Right now it looks like regular beer.
It looks like an ESB, but when we just poured it, it foamed up like crazy.
Mine's a little bit hazy.
Yeah, but that's because you got the yeast. Because you got the bottle.
I got the gunks.
So you got the bottle
yeast,
conditioning.
Yeah.
But when's the last time you had an ESB?
I was just an on tap because I couldn't remember. I think I have 4 ESPs. in all my time, and the last one was Two Øls, Mr. Orange. I think was a take on the best bitter.
When
I actually like that, but the regular best bitters, I think 2 maybe 3.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Like when I was getting into beer, this is what I loved because they were a bit more full on. Like imagine going into beer and the first beers you have are English style bitters and stuff, and then you build up and you find like ESB, which is like even more powerfully tasting bitter with even more fruity, jammy flavors. It's almost like going from a pale ale jumping to an IPA, or just just like whoa, like the first time your mind is blown by like beer. So I wonder if this is still going to be as great.
I'm afraid you're not going to get the same feeling.
I'm
this
pretty.
Is 5.5%. I mean, yeah.
I'm
if you get that, I'm here for you.
I'm probably not going to get that like wow feeling, not from an ESB nowadays. But
I'm going to hold your hand if that's the case.
Yeah. Well, it looks,
it
as
looks
you said,
nice.
Yeah, it looks like what you'd expect.
Yeah.
Copper color.
Nice head, actually.
Slightly tan. Let's check out the aroma on the ESB from the Past Master series.
Malty.
Wow. Okay. Do you know what I'm really surprised by?
No.
It doesn't smell oxidized.
No, it doesn't.
The bottle I had from, I think it's also depending on how they are stored, but the bottle I had from the Old Ale, the London Old Ale I had recently, that was so oxidized, and it was like, it was like all the way into this like port wine, but it was so papery. Like,
but this,
I think
how old is this? 18?
I think it's minimum,
minimum 18.
18.
Yeah.
But it's like very jammy. It's like floral and fruity. It's got like caramel toffee tones. The hops have almost like faded completely. Almost like apple.
Yeah, it got some appley notes and definitely so much malt.
Yeah. Big like bready.
Yeah, bready malty.
Malt.
Yeah, and some.
But big esters.
It's not called corn. What's it called? Hop? No,
Hops?
not corn.
Just like a grainy.
Grainy. Yeah,
malty.
Grainy malty.
But the big thing also for me, as it's a British beer, big esters.
It has, yeah, actually it does.
And can you see a connotation with this to New England IPA? Like
I can see the esters combined with some of the new Citra Mosaic hops.
I mean, you can see similarities to this in like New England IPA because it has that like
it's a fruity note,
almost like stone fruits.
Yeah,
but it's more subtle because it's not like overdone. Because esters can be boosted with temperature and fermentation under without pressure at all, and different things. And you add the hops, all this kind of biotransformation happened with New England IPAs. But you can smell
ester grain.
Yeah,
that's the three.
But you can smell
moments.
where the esters of New England IPAs come from.
Yeah,
100%. But actually, this smells better than the other one, and I didn't expect that because the other one was like an 8% beer. But let's try it. Cheers.
Yeah, let's have a taste.
This has held up very well. I did not expect that.
It's actually quite good.
It's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Really, really old school. But the fact that it's still like really jammy.
It's dry.
Dry. It's got I thought it would be overcarb and sour and stuff because of carbonation. I think it's just the yeast in the bottle because it's bottle conditioned.
It tastes like.
It's just
the pressure's kind of bitter.
It does. It really reminds me of Fuller's ESB, like so much, but just like in a vintage version. Like it's got so much like jammy fruit, like I think like apricot and like
so many esters. Too.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like the jammy esters, like or jammy fruit is for me from.
I must say it's not my favorite style.
No, but right now I'm getting a kick out of it because it's nostalgic.
Of course. I'm afraid I didn't have that experience with it in the past because I haven't drank that much ESB, but even though I'm old. but yeah, it's definitely not my favorite beer.
No.
The taste.
I'm impressed with the amounts of
But I can taste that it's
lack of aged flavor.
Yeah, it doesn't taste old.
No.
I can taste that. And it's what shines through for me is the malt and the esters. That's not my favorite kind of tastes.
But for an old school fella like me, I like it. I mean, this is what I got into when I was getting this. This is one of the reasons. This is the flavors I associate with like cask beer.
Yeah,
That's one of the reasons why I'm starting to go a bit back to being interested in cask ale again.
Some kind of what is the It's the Spitfire. Is that the best bitter?
Yeah, I guess it is. It is an ESB.
Okay.
So ESB best bitter, extra special bitter, and I think it is. They've done a few variants on it since, but I had that recently, and I was surprised how much I liked it. And that was also for a Throwback Thursday episode. But this I would have loved to do side by side with a regular fresh bottle of Fuller's ESB, but I haven't been able to find Fuller's ESB anywhere.
No.
Not online in Denmark or anything. And I didn't want to make a whip. No. They have the London Porter on tap, but because of COVID-19, they haven't had a lot of things on tap, and they've only had a few casks on and things like that. But it would have been fun. I can still get this, but it would have been fun to do a battle with this and a fresh bottle, if I can get one. But yeah, I still think it's impressive how this holds up. But it's funny because before American IPA, what really rocked my world was ESB. I thought ESB was the shit. I loved ESB.
I loved BBSMP, but that was an American hip hop band back in the 80s. And that wasn't great. And that actually wasn't great, but I was a fan of it.
But it's got a good amount of different flavors, but it's like soft and light and complex, which is this kind of beer. It's almost, it's just like getting back into pilsners and lagers. They're more refreshing and bright. These are a bit more heavy and whatever. But like if you've been into English pub ales, these sweet malty, beverages, it's totally nostalgic for me. It just reminds me of when
because I think I'm gonna go with that. I'm not going home listening to BBSMP again because it's not that great. I don't think I'm going back to this because
I would like to try a fresh bottle.
Yep, that would be fun. But I can taste it's a good beer. I can taste it's not oxidized. It's not old.
It's for me,
it's not my favorite style.
No. So totally okay, but it used to be great for me back in the day.
Of course,
I don't think this is not like mind blowing really.
I mean,
it's a nice beer. Yeah, it's a drinking beer. It's an everyday kind of beer. But
I started with the Belgian beers, and I would have the same kick if I get an
Belgian
old
beer.
school. Yeah, because that was where I started.
Yeah.
So it's impressive how it held up.
Yeah, I think it deserves at least an 85, 86. For the way it's held up in the bottle, I think this is actually a very nice ESB.
I think I have really difficult grading this because I don't have anything to hold it up to, so I'm gonna pass on that one. And
that's fine.
Yeah, it would not be fair because
I think maybe 86 for me because I liked it a bit more than the other past masters, which was I think I gave that an 85. But I maybe should have given that like an 80 because it got too oxidized to drink. Whereas this, I have no problem finishing it. I actually think this is a fun, taste of like some British history in beer, and I think it tastes nice. I think a lot of people will disagree, but like a 3.5, I think is fair on Untapped for something like this.
Yeah, if I should grade this on Untapped, I think maybe I would give it a 3.25 or something. Yeah.
But for me, there's just some nostalgia to it as well. Again, it's got like almost like a sultana kind of flavor. Like apricot-y kind of stone fruity vibes.
You can say the yellow sultanas or something. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and then like if it was fresh, it would have a little bit of a more nestle-y kind of hop vibe. I think there's a little bit to it. There's some dryness and bitterness from hops still, but it's not like big on hops. And then there's like this like grainy, like slightly toasty, caramelly malt profile. But
I remember the one Toel made the Mr. Orange or what they called it with some citrus fruits, orange citrus fruits, and I remember I liked that a lot because I think that
brightened everything.
Yeah, it brightened everything.
Because this is like like sweet and dried kind of fruit and whatever. But I think with hops it's a bit more refreshing. But man, I really want to try some fresh, like old school UK beer again. It'd be fun to go through like Samuel Smith again.
Yeah.
Did you drink any of those?
Yeah, some of them I have.
The Imperial Stout, I remember having that. That was my first Imperial Stout. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But everyone as a beer geek goes through this journey and they have their first beers. They're like, wow. And then, they...
but I think today, Peter, I think they start different places.
Yeah, I know. They're completely different. They start at Hayes, or they start at
Superform, or Gamma, or
some
of the Tool or something.
Yeah. I know. But I still think it's really
Back
fun.
in the day, that was English or
You couldn't
Belgian.
get shit like that. When I started getting into craft beer, you know, this was what we could get locally that was different than mass-produced lagers, and I still think it's
And then
great. And I'm only
Belgian
30.
But the Belgian beers was too big
Yeah, it was
then
the
too.
same. Yeah. I just prefer
British
this
or
flavor
Belgian?
profile.
Yeah.
So this was fun. So if you guys had a chance to try the Fuller's Past Masters 1981 ESB, let us know what you thought of it. This was a fun Throwback Thursday. Thanks for joining me, Michael. We've got another one that's going to be fun to try. I mentioned it before, but a set of vintage ale from Fuller's. They should hold up better because they're like 9% or something.
I remember them being quite good.
Yeah, it's like almost barley wine territory in beers. So
really great.
So
beer.
we got the 2019 and the 2009 bottle to compare. It will happen soon. But this was a long video and just one beer, 18 minutes. So we better wrap it up. So if you guys had this one, let us know what you thought of it. What is your favorite ESB? Let us know. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe to the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And we're going to say cheers.
Cheers.
And see you guys in another beer review.